Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Dark Shadows Reviews on Jimmy Master Animatronics, and today what I have to review for you is the 2021 Spirit Halloween Hanging Vintage Monster. Now, that is literally his name. I don't know if you can read the tag or not, but that's what he's called. And I didn't even know that this was a thing until I went to Spirit Halloween Flagship, which I'm sure most of you had seen my video. It was a really fun time. Got to meet a lot of cool people, including Haunt Former and a lot of the other people from the New Jersey area. So it was pretty cool to see everybody. And Flagship was a blast. There were tons of people there. I mean, tons. I mean, I'm sure when you saw the video, you saw how packed the store was, and there was still a line out the door, like way out the door when I was in the store. So it was, it was pretty eventful. Next year, I'm definitely be going a lot earlier than I went there this year, for sure. And I was able to pick up these two guys. These were actually the last two that were on the shelf. I picked one monster and then one devil. The devil will also be uploaded today, so if you're interested in this, I'm sure you'll also be interested in the devil item. Um, Now, when you get him, his coat is not actually closed the way I have it here on the camera. I used a bobby pin to do that. He just looks a lot better with his coat closed like this, almost like the real Frankenstein buttoned up. When it's just open, it's just a plain black fabric material, which you can see the same material for the legs all the way up to the neck, just kind of like that, and it's very plain and boring. So with the coat closed, it adds a little bit of color and difference, and it kind of just makes it feel more complete, I guess, if you will. Now, I didn't take the tag off him. I'm not going to. And these are actually, believe it or not, made by Seasonal Visions, which when I found that out, I was like, wow, this is pretty crazy because the quality is pretty good on the item. The plastic's very thick. They use actual screws to hold in the head to the shoulder bracket. The hands are thick plastic as well, same as the head. Paint job is incredible. Uh, I did notice though that there was some chipping on the, I think the front of his head, right on the hair. I actually used a Sharpie and just touched it up, but you can't even tell. Now these retail for $49.99, but Spirit usually runs a deal. I mean, they're still overpriced. Don't get me wrong, but Spirit usually runs a deal: buy one get one 50% off. So in total, I paid $75 for the two, which is about $37.50 a piece. Not too bad. Not what I would have wanted to pay necessarily, but honestly, for what you're getting here and how large the item is and the quality, it's pretty good. Now, Seasonal Visions also did something else that is super smart with this, which I'll actually do a close up of later after I turn it on. They used an external battery box, which is connected by a wire harness. So if for whatever reason the battery box gets corroded, you don't have spare terminals or something, I'm sure you can probably find this battery box because I'm sure it's a universal battery box because most of these companies don't make their own stuff. They're all uh, mass-produced parts that they just use. I'm sure you can find this battery box online and you can replace it. I'll also try to show you that later. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to because it's hanging up. I only have one arm to use right now. But yeah, so here he is, really cool. He has like that really vintage cartoonish look, and the colors are great. The camera's not picking it up as well as I would like it to, but the quality is just incredible, especially like I said with the paint job. So I'm actually going to change the camera lens and go in closer. See, the paint is just phenomenal on it. I mean, it looks, the paintwork itself looks vintage. The colors are definitely vintage looking. The hands are really cool. The only thing that I don't really like is that they didn't really paint the fingernails at all. It's all just the regular green. So that's the only thing I would have liked. But besides that, there's really nothing that I have to complain about. Now, this is the try me button. And here we go. I'll activate it for you. You can see they do light up yellow. It's not showing up as good on camera, but they are yellow. And I think it's really cool. Now, I'm not going to turn them off the try me mode because literally the only difference is that it just stays lit for longer. So that was that. Now I'm going to see here if I can show you guys the battery box, which is right here. It's actually under the coat. Like I said, with mine, I used the pin to kind of hold it in place. So here's the battery box. And you can see, it's right here. Here's a spot where I guess it would be screwed in with a screw on the inside. And if you follow this wire, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it out or not for you, but if you follow this wire, there's actually a wiring harness on there, and it allows you to entirely disconnect this battery box. And then there's 3 modes: try me, off, and on. On is obviously the lights stay on, off is obviously it does nothing, and then try me is for the try me button. So give me 1 second, let me fix them all up, and then I'll get back to it. Okay, so that's him all put back together. He might spin around a little bit because I was moving him. But overall, he's really good. He's filled out really well. His proportions are pretty good. Like I said, I love the face sculpt. You know what this really reminds me of? It reminds me of the vintage Jemmy hang-ups, the hang-up Frankenstein, Wolfman, Vampire, and I think that was all the ones they made. Besides those stupid Freaky Geek style ones, which everyone's crazy about, I think they're absolutely hideous. But this really reminds me of that, and a better take on it for sure. I mean, I'm not a big fan of a lot of the seasonal visions props. I'm really not. I don't like their quality. I don't like a lot of their stuff. But for the 2021 season, it seems like they really started stepping up their game with full head shells underneath. And I mean, these items, never even seen something come close to this from them before, in my opinion. A lot of their older stuff was very cheap and overhyped and anticipated. But overall, quality wise, he's pretty good. I would definitely recommend picking them up. Maybe not at full price, at the full $50. I would see if maybe they have a couple left over at the 50% off sale. If you're getting a whole bunch of stuff and you have that 25% off coupon, you have a little bit of extra money to burn, and you're kind of like, I don't really know what I want. This would definitely be a cool item to get. But I mean, I know that they came out with door knockers this year, which were into vintage style, and I was actually looking to get some of those, but they were all sold out by the time. And then when I saw these kind of really just got my attention. I thought that they were really cool, and I believe that there's only the Frankenstein and the Devil, which I picked up. But so far, this one is my favorite in the whole lineup. I'm only really going to be able to tell if there's more when I go to my local store, because Spirit's website hasn't fully been updated yet, and all the stuff that was at Flagship was a complete surprise to me, besides some of the props which were shown in the trailer. So with that being said, that's all I have for this. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. I'm really curious to hear your feedback, if you like it, what you think about the price, if you think it should have done more. I personally would have liked if it had some phrases, but I'm not going to complain. I really think that for the quality of it, and just even as a static, it looks super cool. So with that being said, that's all I have to say about this, and I'll see you guys next week.